Good morning, everyone. Hey, it's a Monday morning. I hope everyone's doing well and the weekend was good. Yeah, if you're here, maybe you can drop me a hi so I know that you're with me. Okay, so for those of you who've been a part of the relationship month, I think we're uh, about 3 weeks in. So we'd also love to hear from you on the WhatsApp group as to how everyone's doing. Anything else that you would like us to address or talk about? Very happy to do that as well. Like if there are any inputs from any of you that I would like to understand this better, can you shed some light on this? What do we do for this? Like just, I mean, it always helps to understand where everyone's at, and from there I could maybe channel something, devise something, and we could have a Zoom meeting or another YouTube live for that. So please feel free to share your thoughts on if there's something else you would like us to address as a part of this month. Okay. Okay. So today we're going to be so since it is a month of relationships. We've been talking about relationships with our parents, what that we are born with, those that we acquire. So our spouses, partners, friends. We've spoken about siblings, and also this week has been about our relationship with ourselves. And keeping in that, we also shared the self love podcast. Why that sometimes backfires, because actually I've been seeing that quite a bit of late. So just be careful that we're not doing things in the facade or in the name of self love. Don't make it like an excuse or a mask. Now, since we are talking about a relationship with ourselves, within ourselves itself, there is duality. We all understand this, right? Like planet Earth, the hallmark of the syllabus is duality. So there is day and then there is night, there is winter, then there's summer, there is good and there is evil, and then there is man and there's woman, there's yin, there's yang, right? So it's obvious to understand this much that the duality that we see in the outside obviously will stem from the duality inside, always, right? So like we all say that we have the man and the woman in us. We have the dark and the light in us, and then we make an aware choice as to what we are expressing. Similarly, keeping that duality in place, we also have the parent and the child in us. So I know we understand parent child relationship in the outside, but within our spaces as well, there is a parent and then there's a child. Now, what do I mean by that? The child personality in us is that part of us which when healthy and functional is that part of us which keeps us motivated. It wants us to do new things. It wants us to have this quest for more, this space of greed, this space of wanting more, wanting to understand more, curiosity, doing things differently, wanting to initiate things, wanting to set things into action. All of this actually comes from the child personality in us. So it's the child that makes us want to move forward, makes us want to try new things, makes us um, like set things into action. It is also that part of us which is curious. It is also that part of us which is always ready to give second chances to things. It is also a slightly more optimistic side of us. It is that part of us which is like, no, no, we can do it. Let's go for it. Yay. So that's the child in us. And we all have it. It doesn't matter what age, where you're coming from, or we have both these personalities in us. Okay. Now, this is the functional child. The dysfunctional child, or what we call as childishness, is when this child makes us very restless. makes us not commit to anything, wants us to just go from one thing to the other, one thing to the other. So now the child keeps just flitting around. Kabhi kis, kabhi this, kabhi this, kabhi this, right? Um, when the child gets dysfunctional, it is also that part of us which often throws tantrums. Yeah, no base, but we just want to like be a certain way. We just want to behave like bratish today. We want to behave like, oh, we are sulking today. So the tantrum side of things also comes from the dysfunctional child. When the child is a little dysfunctional, it also um, shows up as lack of focus. We're like all over the place, always. There is very little grounding that happens. There is also a lot of incompletion that comes in. We are unable to complete things. We start it and then we leave it, sort of a thing. Yeah. So these are all the symptoms and signs of the child being dysfunctional. So we understand functional child and dysfunctional child. Um, Coming to the sorry, another symptom of the child getting dysfunction. Sorry, just struck me, is greed. So we know that the child is the motivator. We want something, we desire. So the desire quality comes from the child, which is okay with. There is nothing wrong with desire. But when desire gets excessive, it turns into greed, right? So that also comes from the dysfunctional child. So when the child is functional, there is the right amount of desire that motivates us into action. When the child gets dysfunctional, it leads either to too much greed or restlessness, right? So functional, dysfunctional child. Coming to the parent personality. So now the parent personality in us is that part of us, when it's functional, it is that part of us that cautions us. It is that part of us that asks us to sometimes be still. That okay, let's not. We say no. Are you uh, are you acting before you think, or do you think before you act? So the think before you act is what the functional parent, that quality, it helps us embrace it, rather than just being, mm, like just going ahead and doing things. This is the part that analyzes, that thinks, that gets the intellect and be like, okay, these are my pros, these are my cons, now what do I do? So the functional parent helps in qualities like stillness, caution, a little more empathy, because it always considers that okay, if I do this, then what are the repercussions, how will other people feel, what is going to happen. And that side comes from the parent personality in us. Now, does it have no merit? Well, no, right? I mean, imagine we are only functioning out of the child in us. We can get a little ruthless sometimes. We could be very impulsive sometimes, and a certain level of caution, a certain level of awareness of what is happening around you, how is it affecting, how do your actions have a ripple effect on others, is also a useful trait to have. Okay, so that's the functional parent. And when the parent gets dysfunctional, then the caution goes to the side of fear, right? So we're always fearful. We're so fearful that we're not able to act on anything. It almost takes us to a point of inaction. So again, there's a difference between stillness and inaction, correct? So it leads us to a point of inaction. We are constantly being governed by fear. um, when the parent gets dysfunctional, it also gets highly authoritative and controlling. That's when we get like, we're like, no, like I want this to be a certain way, it'll only be this way, it's my way or the highway, this is the I know best. Like you tend to get into that authoritarian space very easily when the parent gets dysfunctional. And sandwiched between the parent and the child is the wonderful adult, which is us who's living the life in the present. So, if needless to say, if the child and the parent are functional in us, the adult is functional. Yeah, because the adult has the capacity to take from both these dualities, apply its intelligence, its intellect, it's intuition. I will talk about the difference between intellect and intuition maybe on another workshop. There's an entire thing around that as well, but just so that we understand, it applies its intellect, intuition, and based on data points from both sides, puts or lives their life. So now, if obviously both the personalities are healthy, the adult is healthy. The adult also has the capability of being able to observe these dynamics. So now, when the child and the parent are in conflict with each other, and this now usually happens when we have had misconstrued or ideas of our childhood, a certain relationship with our parents, or seen certain authority figures and been like, no, this is how authority is, I'm never going to listen to them. So the child becomes like a rebel or just wants to like break the system just for the heck of it. It doesn't want to commit. Or then we've seen people suffer so much that we go to borderline fear. So then if the parent and the child personality gets dysfunctional, then the adult over time starts feeling this constant conflict within. So, how do you know that the parent child is dysfunctional? Two, three symptoms. One, you're almost always in a state of conflict. This or that, this or that. Like, so it's almost like the parent and the child are just not listening to each other, constantly throwing their points of view without listening to the other. And as a result, the adult is always in conflict and prevents you from making a lot of decisions at times. Second way of understanding that the parent and child are in conflict is there is a significant amount of self sabotage that happens. So, you're about to do well in life, things are going great, and then you do something to sabotage your progress. Like a simple thing like, oh, tomorrow onwards, I'm going to start getting up at 6 a.m. and go for a jog every morning because it's good for my health. And you forget to set the alarm. Yeah. So these kind of self-sabotaging acts, it starts very small as well. um, but you see a lot of that happening, that when I make a decision, then the child figure will sabotage you and not let you do it to your fullest, to your capacity. So these are a few ways of understanding, and the third way is understanding how you feel towards parental personalities, towards authority, and how do you feel towards risk taking, towards putting yourself in new situations. And if there is a fear or discomfort in either, you obviously know that there is a certain level of dysfunctionality that comes in either of the personalities. And as a result, the adult is not able to function and use the resources of the parent and the child to the fullest capacity to live their life at the fullest. Yeah, does that make sense? Like, I mean, what I'm saying. So that hence the importance of healing the parent and the child within us. Um, Trying to yes, okay, great, thanks, Sarita. um, uh, Trying to find the functional aspects of both, because actually if both of them are functional and they listen to each other, they're in harmony with each other, the adult will benefit the most, because then you are able to combine the intellect of the parent with the intuition of the child, the action of the child with the stillness of the parent, the adventurousness of the child with the empathy of the parent. And it's a very, like, it's almost like you have the best of all the worlds. And these are the people who come out as, this person just knows how to be where, how, like in different situations. They just get it. They know what to say, when to say it. They know how to channel their energy a certain way in some situations, in certain situations a certain. You will get to hear a lot of that, and that's actually happening because the parent and child are in harmony, nothing else. Okay, so today we are going to maybe just do a quick visualization of how the parent and child feel for each one of you. This healing may not be fully complete, but you could repeat this again. If you feel you need to go deeper and understand this, please put it on the group so that I can then take it into Zoom and also address what is happening for each one of you. But we'll start off this harmonizing and this relationship between the parent and the child and see how that feels for us. Okay? All right. So, on that note, let's begin. So, closing our eyes, take a few deep breaths in and out. And just give yourself the permission to relax. For the next three breaths, breathe in through the nose and breathe out through the mouth. Breathe in a lot of love, faith, guidance, and breathe out any fears, worries, doubts. And then return to normal breathing and keeping your eyes comfortably closed. Imagine or visualize yourself in a space where you feel very, very comfortable and at ease. It could be a room in your house, it could be in an open space, it could be a space that your mind's eye creates. Doesn't matter as long as you are comfortable in that space. Go to that space. Visualize yourself there. And as you are standing in that space, from within you, request the parent personality of you to please step out and take up a position to the left of you. So, where you are standing, from that space, request the parent personality to step out of you and take up a position to the left of you. And then, similarly, request the child personality in you to please step out and take up a position to the right of you. Now, just go with first thoughts, first feelings. Some of you may be able to see the parent and child very clearly. For some of you, it could just be an energy shift on one side and the other side. For some of you, it could be different colors. It'll be different for each one of you. Just go with first thoughts, first feelings. And keeping your eyes closed as you connect to the parent and the child within you, now see how are they interacting with each other when they look at each other or when they sense each other. What's happening? Can they see each other in the eyes and smile? Are they comfortable with each other? Do they not want to look at each other? Is there discomfort, anger, fear? Is one feeling or seeming more powerful than the other? Is one feeling or seeming weaker? Let's just check all these things, and there is no need to judge. You're just observing the dynamics. You are the adult, and there is a parent personality and a child personality. How are they interacting with each other? Now, let's first turn towards the child. Look at that child personality in you, and please say to it that I see you. I feel you. I acknowledge your truth. I love and accept you. I honor you. I honor the brilliance in you. I am you and you are me. I see you. I feel you. I acknowledge your truth. I love and accept you. I honor you. I honor the brilliance in you. I am you and you are me. And now check the feelings and emotions that the child is feeling. If he or she is neutral, if he or she is happy, motivated, inspired, then that's perfect. If there is some fear, restlessness, rebellion that you sense, let's work with that. So look at the child and please say, I recognize our fears. I recognize our fears. I recognize our need for these fears. I recognize our need for these fears. I recognize our lost feeling. I recognize our lost feeling. I recognize our need for this lost feeling. I recognize our need for this lost feeling. I recognize our doubts. I recognize our doubts. I recognize our need for these doubts. I recognize our need for these doubts. I recognize the rebel in us. I recognize the rebel in us. I recognize the need for this rebel in us. I recognize the need for this rebel in us. I recognize our restlessness. I recognize our restlessness. I recognize the need for our restlessness. I recognize our need for the restlessness. And then look at the child and say, with soul's love, I awaken the inner inspiration. With soul's love, I awaken the inner inspiration. With soul's love, I awaken the faith in moving forward. With soul's love, I awaken the faith in moving forward. With soul's love, I awaken the child in me. With soul's love, I awaken the aligned and harmonious child in me. With soul's love, I awaken the child in me. With soul's love, I awaken the aligned and harmonious child in me. And now check how the child is feeling. Maybe something has shifted, maybe it's more grounded, maybe the feeling is different. It may not fully be relaxed, but maybe it is. Whatever it is, it's fine for now. So let the child be. Maybe if you want, give the child a hug as well. And turn to the parent. Now, chances are, as you healed the child, maybe there is already some shift in the parent, or maybe not. Just observe what is happening with the parent. And now look at the parent personality in you and say to it that I see you. I feel you. I acknowledge your truth. I love and accept you. I honor you. I honor the brilliance in you. I am you and you are me. I see you. I feel you. I acknowledge your truth. I love and accept you. I honor you. I honor the brilliance in you. I am you and you are me. And now check what are the feelings or what are the emotions that come up when you connect to the parent. If the parent feels in charge, grounded, solid, still, then it's all fine. But if there is something else coming up, let's work with that. I recognize our anger. I recognize our anger. I recognize our need to hold on to this anger. I recognize our need to hold on to this anger. I recognize our need for control. I recognize our need for control. I recognize our need to hold on to this control. I recognize our need to hold on to this control. I recognize a constant state of fear. I recognize a constant state of fear. I recognize our need to hold on to this state of fear. I recognize our need to hold on to this state of fear. I recognize our feeling of being stuck. I recognize our feeling of being stuck. I recognize our resistance to flow. I recognize our resistance to flow. I recognize our judgments. I recognize our judgments. I recognize our need to hold on to these judgments. I recognize our need to hold on to these judgments. And now check what's happening to the parent. And let's switch to awakening. With soul's love, I awaken the grounded parent in me. With soul's love, I awaken the grounded parent in me. With soul's love, I awaken the aware parent in me. With soul's love, I awaken the aware parent in me. With soul's love, I awaken the nurturing parent in me. With soul's love, I awaken the nurturing parent in me. With soul's love, I awaken the aligned and harmonious parent in me. With soul's love, I awaken the harmonious and aligned parent in me. And now, take a step slightly back and look at the parent and the child. Now, see what is happening. How are they feeling? How are they towards each other? Maybe something has shifted slightly, maybe it's shifted a lot, doesn't matter. Just observe. And now, slowly integrate the parent and the child, this parent and child in you. So you could do this by giving a nice tight hug to both, feel them merging into you. Maybe all three of you just hold hands and feel the connection and then merge. Just see how you feel like doing that, but integrate the parent and the child in you right now. And ask them to take up the correct position in your life so that you, as an adult, are able to utilize the resources of the parent and the child to help you live a full life. Feel this integration, feel this positioning, and take 3 deep breaths into this assimilation, into this integration. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And with that, slowly start coming back into the here and now. Coming back into the present moment. With this integration, awareness, and assimilation, starts to feel your body the way it's sitting or lying down right now. Integrate, integrate, integrate. Moving your toes, moving your fingers, moving your neck from side to side slowly. Rub your palms together. Place them on your eyes. And whenever you feel ready, you may blink open your eyes. Take your time. You can have a sip of water. I hope everyone's feeling okay. If there's anything you would like to ask, share, say, you can do so now. Or if it something comes up later, you can put it on the group. Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, thank you all so much for joining. Have a beautiful day ahead. And I kind of fell asleep in between. No problem. That's absolutely fine. The fact that you came back means the work is already happening. Yeah, if you want, you can revisit this again at some point in the day or tomorrow and see how it's different. Do you still fall asleep at the same point, at a different point, or are you able to stay awake? That will also help you understand. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. That was very powerful. Thank you. I'm so grateful, Sakti. Thank you. I saw my mother as the parent in me. Is that okay? Yes, for a lot of us, the parent personality will still be our outside parent, and that's okay. As long as you could connect to aspects which are your own in that parent personality. If all of it was borrowed beliefs about the mother, then maybe there is a certain level of the mother's borrowed beliefs that you are carrying in the parent within you. So maybe a little bit of disassociation. But just check how you felt when you connected to your mother as the parent personality. Okay? Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Awesome. Tingling or discomfort in the left hand or head tilting towards the right during the statements for parents. Um, that means, so if it's showing up in the parental thing, then there's something that you're meant to contribute as the parent personality in you, which you could be holding on to. So see where the contribution could open up a little more. The concept of contribution also comes from the parent personality in us. The concept of receiving comes from the child in us. Both are needed. So somewhere maybe the left palm is signaling to you that there is something that you're meant to share, contribute, impart, which maybe you're not doing. So check in your space what that could be, or just work with I recognize the guilt of not contributing the way I want to contribute and see what comes up if you're very unclear on what it is. Okay? Perfect. All right. Thank you, everyone. See you. Bye. I'll see you next week for a sharing circle, and there'll be a meditation which I'll be posting or will be sharing through the week, I think. But if you need me to address something and talk about something, you message me either separately on the group, and I can announce another ad hoc live session or a Zoom session. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Thanks, Shita. Thanks, Rishma. Thanks, Sarita.